Everybody is talking about the Marcellus Wiley relationship drama, the allegations, the divorce, the legal issues. But I think everybody is watching the wrong story because tonight, Rhonda, Mabricio, and I are not here to tell you what happened behind closed doors. Because guess what, guys? We weren't there. And serious allegations belong to the legal process, not the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. But this story is putting 5 uncomfortable relationship lessons right in our faces. And you ain't gonna find nobody else who wanna talk about it except right here. Now I want y'all to think about something. What if love is not supposed to be the foundation of a relationship? What if having children can expose a relationship instead of strengthening it? What if the person you married no longer exists because both of you are still trying to live off who you used to be? And what if social media has made the traditional relationship model almost uncertain to maintain? Yeah, guys, I know somebody already mad. But if you stay with us, because number 5 is the one that make most people think I've completely given up on love. But here's the reality check. I actually haven't. And nobody on this panel has either. I just think we've been taught the wrong way to build relationships. Y'all, let's get into this thing right now.
Smoke it, drink it down. Your voice, it got you around. Feel the vibe, we're set to roll. Let's play, let's lose control. Sip a drink and smoke will swirl. Join the convo around the world. Relationships we dissect slow. Current events, we let them flow.
What up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you. Y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. We about to jump right into this thing, but y'all know I ain't doing it alone. I got to introduce my resident relationship experts, man, new school and old school. I got to come to new school first. Let him tell y'all who he is and where y'all can find him on the socials.
What's up, guys? It's Mabricio. I'm off of my hiatus. I'm back. You know, everybody was giving me hate. They say you can't be talking all this crap and not back it up. So I'm back to posting. Come find me on my channel at Mabricio or at the AI Operators. We're back in business. We're saving love, one video at a time. Back to you, Jeff.
Appreciate you rocking with us, man. New school been rocking with us week after week after week, man. Appreciate you being on. Y'all know who I got next, man. A1 from day one got the special day coming up this week, but still make time. Still make time to come holler at her boy. I'm going to let her introduce herself, tell y'all where y'all can find her on the socials.
Thanks, JB, for having me back. I'm sorry. The real Cigar Jeff, thanks for having me back. What's up, Mabricio? You know, new school always got to have stuff first. Like, that's what it is. But y'all can find me on Instagram at RMBLMBT or on TikTok at Rondeezy_.
Man, appreciate y'all being on. And here's the funny thing, guys. If y'all are watching this, we already know y'all are not gonna agree because everybody else is talking about the headlines surrounding Marcellus Wiley and his wife. But over here on this podcast, guys, we going somewhere different. See, we asking different questions. Y'all getting caught up in the weeds, but we asking different questions. What can the rest of us learn from relationship drama before our own relationships become drama? And I need everybody watching to do something right now, guys. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you don't already. And put in the comments, guys, what do you think destroys more relationships? Bad people or bad relationship decisions? I don't want y'all to overthink it. I just want your answer. Because by the end of this show, guys, you may actually end up changing it. Now, Rhonda and Mabricio, y'all ready to get in the number 1 again? We ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
It's gonna be.
Here's my first controversial opinion, guys. I don't think emotion should be the foundation of a relationship anymore. Yep. I said it. Now, should you love the person? Of course. Should you be attracted to them? Absolutely. Should there be passion? Yeah. But emotion changes. And one day you're happy. The next day you're angry. One day you feel connected. One day you need space. So how can something that changes every day be the foundation of something you expect to last forever? Because I believe relationships need a purpose. Why are we together? What are we building? What does the relationship produce that neither one of us could produce alone? Because the answer is just we love each other. That ain't enough no more. Yeah, I said it. That ain't enough no more. So y'all know who I got to come to first. Rhonda, let me ask you this.
Oh,
Can a relationship survive long term if the only thing holding it together is how two people feel about each other?
you know, I always say my favorite movie is What's Love Got to Do with It.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites. No, it cannot survive. If y'all hadn't got anything from this podcast, is that both of the men up here have said it's a business.
Losing that term loosely.
It's a business. Marriage is a business. Relationships are businesses. You got to treat it like that. And so, yeah, I think there's a time and a place for emotion, but emotion is such a traditional thing, which is why it's not going to work. It's not going to last. So have your emotion where you need it, but not all the time. So no, it cannot survive with just emotion alone.
Now that's an interesting take, because a lot of people don't realize how feelings are fleeting. Your feelings are fleeting. You know, even if you catch them, they gonna run away again, right?
That's why you apologize so much, right? That's why you apologize so much. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yes, yes, you did.
Yeah, you did, right? Yeah, you meant to say it. And out of the abundance of the heart, we going Jeff Sunday service real fast. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. Mm-hmm. Anything that come out of that mouth came from the heart, right? And then the next thing, guys, why do we talk about feelings? The scriptures say, Jesus said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. Remember, they were coming to him telling how much they love me, how much they loved him. What did he say? No, let me give y'all a new definition of love. If you love me, you're going to keep my commandments. Mm. What a lot of people don't understand is we talking love is butterflies and I just can't stop thinking about him or her all the time. No, who keeping the commandments and who ain't? Who keeping the commandments and who ain't? Mabricio, I got to come to you, though.
Yes, go to him.
Men choose relationships based too much on emotion and attraction without ever asking the actual purpose of the relationship.
It's funny that, that we're talking about this on the podcast, because everyone designs their perfect life. They try to find what's the perfect career, what business should I start, and they try to nitpick it, and they have an emotion behind the reason that they're doing it, but to sustain it long term, they had to remove the emotions out. So people fall in love with other people or their own definition of love, and they try to they think that love just works on its own. Just because I'm attracted to this person, just because I do everything for this person does everything for me, it's not sustainable long term. We need to have basic principles in mind that this relationship revolves around. And it's like Jeff said, you need that purpose. Where is this relationship headed? Just like business, you don't want to flatline like this or even go on a downward trend. You want to keep going forward. You want to keep going up and have that consistency. Because if we're following our emotions, there's going to be a new girl in my bed. That's just what it is. That's just what it is.
Okay, I don't know where that one came from.
Yes. Catching my pearls, my imaginary pearls.
I think he was checking to make sure everybody was listening. Listen. That one came out of
Look, we were listening. Stay back there in the back. Tell them to stay back there in the back.
I had to say it because it's true. And we live in a world full of hypergamy. So even women, if you take it on the other way around, if they're just following their emotions, I sent Jeff a reel this morning.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, you did.
And it literally, the woman said, "Oh, I have a bad attitude right now, but I need to fix it before my man leaves me for someone with a good attitude." Mm-hmm. If he followed his emotions, he'd be out the door. That's the truth.
And I'm glad Mabricio said that.
And he ain't
because
sorry.
With most women running the household now, there is a lot of men leading with their emotion. And when you lead with the emotion, just know emotion is what creates the instability. Because here's my position, guys. If a relationship only feels good when both people are happy, that's not stability. That's the weather. And we know weather, just like seasons, they change. And one of the things we saw happen in that hotel room was weather. Now, we can let the legal process and the accusations play itself out. But what we're looking at now is instability because of emotion. Now, If you disagree with me already, good. Don't leave, right? Hit the like button and stay until number 5. Because if you think saying love isn't enough sounds cold, wait until I tell you what I think modern relationships actually require. Now we got to get ready to move on to number 2. And this one gonna make somebody real angry. I think too many people have children because they believe that's simply what you're supposed to do next. Again, let me repeat myself. I think too many people have children because they believe that's simply what you're supposed to do next. So I screwed up the relationship, but we at least need to have children. You date, you get married, you have children. That is the traditional blueprint. But I got to ask everybody a question. What are you passing down? What are you passing down? When you have children, what are you passing down? Because if you ain't passing down a business, a name, property, value, knowledge, or a legacy, or are you having children because everybody told you that's what married people do? Here's my position, guys. Children should receive the benefits of a healthy relationship. They should never be given the job of helping to create one. That's too much responsibility for a child. A baby doesn't fix communication. A child does not fix resentment. Parenthood does not automatically create purpose. Sometimes children actually expose every weakness that was already there and you can no longer hide it. The money problems, the communication problems, the intimacy problems, the lifestyle differences, the exhaustion, the resentment, everything. Rhonda, because you're the woman on the panel, it's a special week for y'all. I'm coming to you first again.
I don't know how that happened.
Because let's be honest, guys. What's really getting Marcellus Wiley in trouble is that the accusations were that he did this stuff in front of children. So now you get more enhanced charges because children were in the environment. Rhonda, do you think society oversells the idea that children automatically bring couples closer together, and why?
Yeah, because it's all lies. At the end of the day, they got to keep you bound up. But humans love passing down toxicity.
That wasn't on my list. That wasn't on my list.
When you said, what are they passing down? Yeah, that's what they're passing down. They passing down. They're passing down that toxicity. And with pride, too, now. With pride. And so, and I'll put it in a different way. This is a good way to put it. Boy, you just like your daddy.
Yes.
Girl, you just like your mom. That is never a compliment. That's never a compliment. That's letting you know that's the toxic trait that you got from one of your parents.
You say that right? You say it's never a compliment.
It's never it's never a compliment. We hasn't been a compliment.
That's how you tell it's an ugly baby though. When they say he look just like his daddy.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Yeah, that's how you know it's an ugly baby. So, but I think that's interesting, Rhonda, because I think a lot of people don't realize that they were fix-it babies, right? They were fix-it babies. Let's try to have a kid to try to make us come closer. But remember, guys, a seed can only produce fruit after its own kind. So if you produce that child while you at your lowest, that child is going to represent that lowest. And that's what a lot of people don't get about having children. You should only produce children when you're at the top. You shouldn't be producing children while you struggle. With that being said, Mabricio, should people be asking what they have to pass down before deciding to have children?
Absolutely. Because it's like Rhonda said here, that toxicity gets passed down. Now, that's not how it got passed on to me. That's just, I just created by my environment. But,
okay.
But I will say this. A lot of people's nervous system, a lot of women say, I want a stable man. But if they didn't grow in a stable environment, what are they going to chase after? Chaotic men, toxic men, because they never had that blueprint. So, and I think a lot of people don't realize the fact that the way that they act gets passed down to the children. And a lot of stuff is influenced. So even if we take it from a money perspective, if you come from a family that always operated in lack of money, that we can't go here because we don't have the money for it, we can't do this, you should always be saving every penny, don't take any risk, the child more often than not will adopt those same patterns. But if you have a parent that was investor first, you're going to be learning investment principles in kindergarten. So there's a lot of things that you can mold someone's brain, especially at that young age when children learn fast. So you definitely should always be looking at, okay, what can I pass down? If it's knowledge, wealth, if it's a business, no matter what it is, the children are paying attention more than you realize.
And I'm glad Mabricio said that, because right now all these kids are getting is an iPhone and an iPad and go leave me alone. Right? That's why this generation is so good at TikTok and Snapchat, and Instagram. They so good at the technology because that's what they got. Right? And so I'm glad Mabricio said that. Rhonda, I'm glad you said that too. I got a question for the audience, guys. If you're watching this, when you watch this, I want you to get down in the comments. Do kids make relationships stronger, or do they simply reveal how strong the relationship already was or how weak the relationship already was? I need y'all to get in the comments on that, because one of the things that y'all going to find, Marcellus Wiley and his wife, or soon to be ex-wife since she filed for divorce, they were in Orlando for an event that the kids had. They were not in Orlando for an event for them. And one of the things that people don't get is that kids mean the pie gets split different ways. It doesn't mean more love coming to the house. It means the love that was there gets split even more. Right? So it's 3 people on this panel. If we added another person on this panel, we don't get more time. We get less time.
Yep.
I'm sorry?
That's it. Say that again.
Yeah. Right? Which means if Rhonda and I are on the panel, we love when somebody else come on, because now you split up the time. If somebody else come on, sweet, you split up the time. The more people on the panel means the time is split. It doesn't mean we do longer because we got 4. And that's what a lot of people forget about kids, is that when you have kids, if you were already struggling, it's going to get worse because you have less time to deal with what you're dealing with. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Now, number 3, guys, this might be the most overlooked relationship problem in the world. Number 3, this might be the most overlooked relationship problem in the world. Mabricio gonna like this when it's his time, but people change. Careers change, money changes, bodies change, fame changes, relevance changes, dreams changes. But sometimes the relationship never changes with the people inside of it. You guys ever met somebody when they were ambitious? 10 years later, they tired. You ever met somebody when they were famous? 10 years later, people ain't calling no more. You met somebody when they needed you. 10 years later, they don't need you in that same way. So here's the question. Can you love the person standing in front of you today? Or are you still in a relationship with the memory of who they used to be? Because that's deep, guys. Because sometimes people aren't unhappy with their spouse. They're grieving the person their spouse used to be. Mabricio, is it harder for men to accept when their identity, career, money, or status changes inside a relationship?
Yes, it is very, very, very hard, because we try to fight reality. Reality is sometimes you can lose your job, sometimes you can lose your girlfriend, sometimes things are just out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that is that we try to fight it. Reality is telling us one thing, but our fantasies are telling us another thing. Every guy that I know has the dream to be rich, to make $1 million. Will everyone do it?
Nope.
Probably not. Everyone has a dream. I want the perfect woman. I want the perfect kids. Reality might tell you something very different. So the problem is we're trying to fight reality, and it's never going to work. A relationship can't work that way, because you have to accept the person for who they are today, not who they were last week, not who they were 2 years ago, not who they could be 5 years from now. The person today, can you still accept them? And most times you try to stay with the wrong person rather than face the fact this is who they are. Can you spend the rest of your life this way? Or maybe is it time for a change?
And I'm glad you said that, because emotion and attraction are what most people base it on. Emotion and attraction is fleeing. And now, guys, we are grieving. I want y'all to hear what it said. We are grieving the person the spouse or the girlfriend, boyfriend used to be. That's what we grieve. We ain't even in a relationship. We look at that person and we just grieving. And now When them tempers flare, I ain't beating up the person I love. I'm beating up the person you became. And that's the hardest part, Rhonda. I got to come to you. How often do couples fail because one person changed and the other person never accepted the new version?
Listen, you know how I feel about that. I think people they have an idea of the person they're marrying anyway, and that person is a lie to begin with. Like, they may be something totally different. It's no different than a mama saying, "Oh, my baby wouldn't do that." Yes, your baby will. Your baby, yes, your baby will do that. And so it's like we already don't see the person there. This person is in front of us, but we already don't see them who they truly are because we've made up in our mind who they are already. And so that's why I feel like, yeah, marriages get tore up because it's the person in your mind is never existed anyway. You needed that person.
Hold on. The person you said, the person in my mind never existed.
Yes, who you saw them as, right? Because how can love turn to hate so fast? It wasn't that person changed. You lied to yourself, and then you mad. Since we saying stuff, all right, guys. I need to unhook this mic and drop it? I'm telling my guy to stay in the room. I'm telling my guy to stay in the room, like Mabricio.
Now, Rhonda, you're making a good point. Are all these people just getting in relationships with what we saw in our mind, not what we saw in front of us? Because that's powerful. That are we trying to make somebody what we saw in our mind?
Yes.
Versus what was actually staring us right in the face.
Who hasn't
and
done
those
it?
Are two different things. What
who
you say,
hasn't
Rhonda?
done it?
Huh?
Who hasn't done it? That's why you could have four girlfriends and a wife on the side. That's why you
got
can
four
have that.
girlfriends and a wife on the side, man. You gotta know how to handle that. You gotta know how to handle that. And this is why, guys, I want everybody watching to ask: if you met your spouse exactly as they were today, would you still choose them? And guys, this is the whole perspective of why marriage is easy to get into, but divorce is hard. Why? Because the government know you won't choose them, but they trying to make you not leave. This is why it's easy to go get a marriage license, but it ain't easy to go get a divorce because they know how you're basing the premise on getting together. And now if they made it easy to get divorced, no marriage would last. Because all the three things we've discussed so far, the marriage would already be over. What I hate about Marcellus Wiley and his wife, quit happened long before stop occurs. This marriage been over.
Yeah.
This marriage been over. Quit. When my 76 Cutlass used to break down, it broke down at exit 170. It broke down at 171. It rolled to 173. It stopped at 173. One of the things y'all got to understand, quit happening long before stop occurs. And a lot of people, 99% of the people would not choose the spouse today, right? They would not choose the spouse today because Rhonda just said it, I can't lie about what was in my mind after I've gone through the actual experience with that person because I've confirmed that what I had in my mind versus what I have in the physical realm in front of me is not the case. Now, if you're still watching, guys, I need you to type, guys. If you're still watching, go ahead and type, keep going in the comments because the first three lessons are about what relationships look like. The final two are about what happens behind closed doors. I told y'all to wait with me till the end now. And number 5 now, that's where Rhonda and Mabricio may tell me I completely lost my mind. So we about to hit up number 4 right now. And guys, now I want to be very careful here. Unresolved relationship problems never excuse violence, abuse, threats, or criminal behavior. That's not what we're saying. Ever. But I do think we need to talk about why so many couples wait until a relationship is completely broken before they admit it's broken. They suffer quietly. They protect the image. They protect the family. They try to protect the money. They try to protect the lifestyle. They're not protecting themselves. They're protecting what everybody else thinks or what they believe everybody else thinks. And behind closed doors, pressure keeps building. Temperatures keep rising. That's that pressure cooker relationship. Nobody wants to leave because leaving feels worse than staying, but staying feels like a prison. So people become angry, bitter, resentful, disconnected. And sometimes people make destructive decisions. Again, now guys, frustration never excuses harm. The lesson is that couples need safer exits and earlier intervention before resentment reaches a crisis. because suffering in silence is real. Now, Rhonda, why do people wait till they hate each other before they finally admit the relationship is not working? Because if y'all read that police report, ain't no love in that police report. It is all hate. And she wanted to make sure that everybody know what problems this man has. So, Rhonda, why do people wait till they hate each other and they admit into the legal system that the relationship ain't working, but everybody already knew it wasn't working? Jump in there, Rhonda. Let me know what you think.
So this is a life lesson. When you sick and tired, you sick and tired.
You sick and tired, dog.
That's why.
Show you better than I can tell you.
Yes. No F's given. Right.
Look.
Then they asking you what you gonna say. What you gonna tell people? Cause I already know what I'm gonna tell them.
Bruh, look,
I'm gonna tell them the truth.
I ain't trying to cut you off, but if y'all read this story, they say that man was trying to tell the cops. Let me show you all the cordial texts we've had. Like what she's saying ain't true. Right? What she's saying ain't true. He's trying to talk to the cop. What them cops say?
I don't know.
Bro, you under arrest. It don't matter what you say. What she said is more convincing. And one person is always prepared for the exit, and one person is always surprised by the exit.
Always.
This man is over here showing the cops like, no, bro, don't work like that.
That was her great escape. Great escape.
The great escape. I'm glad Rhonda put it like that. Again, guys, we not condoning what was alleged and all that kind of stuff. But this woman had a plan. And all of a sudden you come to Orlando, right across the street, right across I-4 from Disney World. Was supposed to be the family dream. And you getting locked up at the Marriott World Center. I ain't never seen nothing like this. Mabricio, I got to come to you, man. Do men sometimes stay in relationships because admitting the relationship feels like admitting they themselves have failed?
Absolutely. And that's the hardest part, men or women, is you have that identity in the relationship. You have, I was a good boyfriend, I was a good husband, I was good to her. But when something breaks, it's hard to deal with a new identity. Like if we take, I'm going to try to paint an image for you guys. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to try to paint an image.
Oh, Lord.
Imagine it breaks up. Just imagine yourself in the middle of the ocean and you're just on a pole. You're just attached. You're just holding on. Now a raft may come by, a boat may come by, but you don't know. That's the uncertainty. But what if I told you you're now in the middle of the ocean, but you're on a boat, and 80% of the time the motor works, but you still have that 20% of the time where it doesn't? Where would you feel more comfortable? Where it's familiar.
Yeah.
That's why people stay. The familiarity. When you try to get a new identity, it's admitting that you failed to yourself. In most people's cases, it's admitting that you failed to yourself and you don't know what comes next. But if you have that 80%, if you have that boat that works 80% of the time, the 20% of the time the motor gives out,
yep,
at least you know what's coming.
I'm glad Mabricio said that, Rhonda, and I'm glad you said what you said. Do y'all realize work wives and work husbands ain't getting divorced? Work wives and work husbands ain't getting restraining orders. Yeah, do y'all realize? Hey, Mabricio, am I missing it?
Yes.
No.
Am I missing it?
No.
Right, Rhonda, look at that man's face. You see the moment I say work wife, how that face light up.
Look, I wonder who she is. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, why am I saying this to you guys? Why Mabricio just said that 80% of the time it works. Do y'all realize, like, at the end of the day, the power of what he just said? And then it goes back to what we just talked about. How you going to justify what I saw in my mind versus what's standing in front of my face.
Yeah.
So now you start settling, right? I'm going to say this to y'all. I think some people aren't staying because they're happy. They're staying because they can't imagine the consequences of leaving. And that's not love. That's fear.
Yeah.
Right? Why do y'all think any church you go to got to teach you faith? Because fear is automatically put in you. Yeah. And that's what you're going to operate in. I don't have to teach you failure. I got to teach you success. Failure already in you. So now you don't want to admit that it's a failure, but everybody knew it wasn't going to work when you invited them to the wedding. Remember, guys, this is the whole perspective. This is why you're going to start seeing a lot of people stop having bachelor parties and bachelorette parties. Cause y'all know what happened when people get drunk and it's the night before the wedding. Man, look, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, dog. I don't think this one gonna work, right? And then what do? They start telling you who else to ask about you, who else to ask about you before you about to get married and all this kind of stuff. I'm telling y'all right now, everybody knew it. Everybody knew it wasn't gonna work. Why? It is too much pressure out here to keep a relationship up to traditional standards. You cannot. And guess what happens, guys? Whether you married or dating, every relationship is settling. Every relationship is settling. If you and Mabricio are like this, because everybody go ask a person, what would y'all like to do if you had more time together? They can't even answer. Can't give you details. Mabricio said, let me paint a picture for y'all. Go ask a married couple or a couple that's together, paint a picture of what y'all would do if y'all had more time together. And the person gonna start off and say, well, I want to do this. It ain't gonna be, we gonna do this because this is what our plan of action was, and this is where we are on our plan of action.
That plan been gone. They forgot about it.
Rather, your thought bubbles ain't supposed to burst on the podcast.
That plan been gone.
Rhonda, what do you think about that statement, though?
I mean, that's real. I don't know how else to put it. Like, that's real. Like, you would like to think that we are one.
Yeah.
You know, we in this for life. And it's almost like you got to have one person wake up in the relationship. And then that's when everything goes astray, right? Like, where the wife may have propped the man up, or the man may have made his wife look so much better, even though she was raggedy, right? Like, so you just kind of, but if one of them wake up, it messes up the whole relationship, because the other one feels like, now I don't have to protect this image, this perception.
Yes.
All of these, I don't have to do that. That's why I said, old girl got sick and tired. She got sick and tired. And there was no more money that you could give me to stay tight. Because, sir, you're borrowing from me, allegedly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't want you if that's what I got to do.
If that's what I got to do. It worked back then, but it don't work now. And don't let Mercury.
It worked when you were giving to me, but it don't work when I'm giving to you.
Yes.
Jump in, Mabricio. Let me know what you think.
It's like employees of a company. You know, we're gonna stay in line. We're gonna follow the rules. I'm gonna collect my paychecks. I might be a little miserable, but I'm still gonna keep going. I'm gonna still keep showing up. So one day, boom! I decided I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a photographer for weddings or whatever it is. That's just the first idea that I had. But it's a change. You know, you're used to this, and then one day you wake up and you're like, is this really how I want to live my life? Same thing with relationships. And that's why we go back to reality. Your imagination tells you one thing, reality has a different story. Reality doesn't care. You put your money in the stock market and you lose your money. Reality's like, okay. You lose your girlfriend? Okay. You lose your job? Okay.
What did you say on your recent post, though, Mabricio? You just said it on your video. You said y'all are living the answer of a question you never knew. I think it was something like that you said on your post. Y'all are living the answer of a question you never got told, or something like that. You got to tell me what this was again.
I said on there, just because you want something badly doesn't mean it's guaranteed to come. You can want the relationship, you can love it, you can love this person with all your heart. Doesn't mean that it's going to be that perfect relationship. Things can end, things change. And that's why I said you got to be comfortable with the uncertainty.
Yeah. And I think that, guys, when I tell y'all that Marcellus Wiley got on that plane to Orlando, his wife got on that plane to Orlando, that pressure cooker was already going. And if they flew from LA to Orlando and you talking 5 hours on the plane with kids, and you texting your side, she texting her side, right? She texting her board of directors, you texting your board of directors. Everybody on the other end telling you, man, F her, F him. I wouldn't put up with that, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, guys, you get to Disney, the place where families build around, and it blow up, right? And what happens is, guys, you can't force this thing called love. And all a relationship is one person gets to get their way and the other one doesn't. And you got to be able to be the one that does it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people fight. A lot of people fight to be the one who gets their way. And when I heard that Marcellus Wiley allegedly was trying to talk to the cops and show him text messages that what the girl was saying didn't happen, I said, man, you in trouble. Why? Because Marcellus Wiley, and I got to say this to you guys, and this might be a Jeff Sunday service message too later on this week. I'm just waiting to see how it plays out. Do y'all know why Marcellus Wiley is getting called out? When you preach these Christian values and that kind of thing on your YouTube channel, when you preach that kind of stuff. See, guys, we get on here and we tell people relationships over. I got a person on this panel that said everybody breaking up in 2026. So if I break up, look, if we break up over here, ain't nobody. We done told your relationship suck, right?
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna be like, oh my God, they go on these podcasts talking about how much they fix relationships. And no, look, let me tell you this. We call it how we see it over here, guys. Mm-hmm. And what all a relationship is two people who get together. One decides that they're not going to get their way, and the other one gets their way. And that's what you got to be willing to put up. And when the one person decides they don't want to be the person who's not getting their way anymore, a breakup going to happen. It's going to break up like this, or they just not coming home no more. You
gotta break up on social media. Are you really
breaking up on social media?
You don't do it on social media.
Gotta put it out. I can't wait to see Marcellus Wiley's social media. I got a video ready to go. I just need to see it before I need to change my video up a little bit. I already got the video ready to go. So now y'all know what we waiting for. We at number 5, guys. And this is the one that may get this entire episode dragged on social media. Because I'm about to say something that sounds completely unromantic. But I think it's the most realistic thing I've said all night. Right? Here it is, guys. I don't know if traditional, emotional-based movie love can survive the modern social media world by itself. I don't. Because now relationships have to survive money, careers, social media, public opinion, a bunch of DMs, exes, branding, children, location, lifestyle expectation, changing gender roles, and unlimited access to other people, whether it be digital or reality. So maybe relationships need more than love. Maybe they need structure, expectations, defined roles, not a prenuptial agreement, but definitely a financial agreement, shared goals, privacy rules, social media boundaries or social media freedom, a plan for the children, a plan for the careers. And yes, even an understanding of what happens when the relationship ends. Now, I know somebody going to say that sounds transactional. Maybe. But let me ask you this. Is a clearly defined relationship colder than a relationship where two people secretly resent each other for expectations they never discussed and the cops show up at the door to haul one of them away to jail? That's the conversation. Rhonda, I got to come to you. Does putting structure around love destroy romance or protect it by bringing in transactions?
I think we're taught that it protects it, but it actually destroys it. Like you want to, yes. You know, again, that's the unfortunate part about tradition. You believe lies at every level until you get hit.
Yes.
You know, you get knocked around by life. You're like, oh, this ain't what it is. This is what it is for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's no different than finding out a family secret after so many years. Like, what?
Pause.
You know, like, so yeah, so you really have to understand, like, is tradition helping me or if it's harming me?
Yes.
And if it is helping me, that's a lie. Because I need it to help me because that's my belief system.
Yes. What you just said, I'm looking at the image in my mind. I'm not looking at you.
Yes.
Mabricio just said it, right? That you got to be willing to live with uncertainty. Why are you living with uncertainty? Because you know the person you looking at ain't what you see in your mind.
But we were taught to have certainty.
Yes.
Make sure that person love you and you love them and you work through this thing. New school is like, nah, me out.
Mabricio, I got to come to you. Will more relationships survive if couples treated expectations like business partners instead of assuming love would figure everything out?
Yeah, that actually brings me back. So I know what you're referring to now. That video that I made. I know
Yeah.
which one you're talking about now. It's talking about how nobody chooses their life. They choose from the options that they're given. The
Yes.
relationship timeline, the career, everything.
Yes.
So we're taught one way about love because Rhonda brought that memory back into my head.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. But treating it like business partners is the way to go, because in business, when problems are going to arise in business, are you going to let them stay there? No, you're going to work on that problem. That's why I think in relationships, structure could be a good thing, but there also has to be a willingness to change the structure. A lot of people say the structure is set in stone. It's kind of like having a relationship book of principles given from old school. Old school gave us a book of principles, and you got to follow them word for word. If you step out of it,
Yeah.
that's bad. That could be considered the most terrible thing. But you have to be willing to mold around the structure. Just like the world changes, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen a year from now. You got to be okay with your relationship changing too.
And I think that's the point I'm trying to make, guys. What I tell people now is that in order for your relationship to be successful now, it has to be transactional. We are in a 24/7 dopamine. We're in a 24/7 dopamine environment. And guess what, guys? Traditional relationships can't compete. The way we got taught, quote unquote, love was from people who had an 8-hour day, industrial work, no technology, the world shut down, TV went off at 11 o'clock after the news, right? Like everybody went to church on Sunday, everybody had Sunday dinner, all that stuff. And guess what? If there was a relationship on the side, it stayed on the side. There was no way for people to hear about it, find out about it. Everybody knew it was out there, but there was a certain respect level. And now, guys, all that stuff is no longer in play. And what you're going to have to sit down now and talk about in a relationship, Mabricio, I want your thoughts on this, and then Rhonda, I'm going to come to you. A lot of people don't understand when I go talk business, even when I was in a corporate America job, you know what we sit down with? And we say, all right, how much are we going to be able to win? And how much are we going to lose? And a lot of relationships don't want to understand, what are you willing to tolerate while we trying to win? And a lot of people don't want to have a conversation that maybe there's going to be somebody else in this thing too. Maybe I ain't going to come home every time like you think I'm going to come home. Maybe we ain't going to have these rigid traditional rules that everybody's playing by. Why? Because now grandma on TikTok. Grandma ain't 70. Grandma 39. You see what I'm saying? Guys, what y'all got to realize right now is everybody, Mabricio talked about this on previous podcasts. Everybody want to be free now.
Yeah.
It used to be the 2 generations above you always talk to you about discipline. Now the 2 generations above you trying to get up on the hoes just like everybody else. I'm just saying, right? Like, look, if you go in and you trying to get some wisdom from an OG ain't giving you wisdom. OG telling you, hey man, go over there and holler and see what she talking about. Right? That's what the OG's doing now. OG's ain't giving you wisdom. Do y'all remember that text that came out where the girl asked, how can she snag a ball player?
Oh yeah.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Guys, look, she didn't say, hey, nah, you want to do real love. That's not what you want to do. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to go back to my favorite movie. Then I'm going to pass it over to Mabricio to get his thoughts. Remember when T.I. was on the movie American Gangster? And T.I. was a pitcher for a baseball team. And Denzel Washington got him a tryout with the Yankees. Go watch that movie. The owner of the Yankees called Denzel Washington up and said, hey, man, your nephew didn't show up. T.I. came over to Denzel. Denzel was like, hey, man, he told me that you didn't show up. What's going on? He's like, I don't want to play ball no more. I want to be like you.
Oh yeah.
Right now, new school don't want to be like old school. Because old school trying to be like them. Tell me that, Mabricio. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, so that's the thing. A lot of people believe that If you're winning, I'm winning, and we're winning. But that winning is what social media thinks winning is. It's what old
Yes.
school tell you winning is. It's never winning like what we think it is or how we feel it should be, or there's none of that. It's only this is the standard. You either meet it or you don't. Now for me, inflation is getting out of hand a little bit because now these women talking about 6'3" plus. I mean, I'm pretty much sure they're getting at me. They say 3 cars. I'm like $1 million a year. I mean, I don't know how to compete anymore in today's world. So I do have to find that princess for all those out there that will settle for 6 foot and 6 figures. That's what we need right now. But it's always changing. So
Yeah.
everyone's version of love looks different. Everyone's version of winning looks different. The problem is everybody wants to win the way that social media and the OGs tell them that winning should look like.
Yeah. Rhonda, what's your thoughts?
Look, ain't nothing wrong with OGs, man. There's a time and a place.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time and a place for the OGs. But you're right. Like it's such a stark difference, and when they clash, it is really bad because it ends up being where, sometimes one may think they better than the other, or because they do have the traditional those boundaries, but then they are yearning to be free because they've been bound up their whole lives,
Yes.
right? And yearning to be free.
Yes.
So it's trying to find that happy medium is going to be a challenge for a lot of people. But I think that's the fun part, because if you learn from each other, that would be great. But OGs, well, I don't want to hear nothing from no new school.
You're Rhonda, but that's the point. You'll be surprised now.
That's what I know. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like some of them are like that. Like just
Which means you ain't no OG if you want to be like new school. Because once new school find out you want to be like them, new school lose respect for you.
Yeah.
Because new school want the blueprint. New school. The one thing I respect about new school want to skip steps. Old school tell you to take every step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't cheat. Don't cheat the process now. What you want to do is start right here. You want to do that. New school, like, nah, bruh. Tell me how to get to the top.
Why you sounding like somebody we know? But that's a whole other story.
I'm just saying, guys. The one thing that's happening right now is that as a people, tradition needs the 2 generations above you working together. Whoever would have thought in my generation growing up that I didn't know my mama and daddy wanted to go to the club, and that's why I'm staying at my grandma's house, right? My grandma made me think she wanted to see me. Maybe she did, right? But at the end of the day,
she didn't want to see
you. Now that I'm old enough to know, like, hold on, I'm not staying over at my grandma's house because she just loved her grandkids so much.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 generations above me are working together.
That was LTK at its finest.
Yes, absolutely. So here's the problem, guys. The 2 generations above you are not working together anymore, which is why tradition can't stand. If you didn't go to church on Sunday, you had to answer to somebody on why you didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now the 2 generations above you ain't going either. That's why Sunday dinner doesn't happen.
Everything is on your phone. Everything is on your phone.
Everything is on your phone.
We don't need to communicate with y'all. We get it right.
Guess what, guys? I can't compete with the phone.
Yeah.
That's why if she getting DMs, you got to let her get DMs. You can't stop it. Can't stop it, right? And this is why I think every relationship should have a TikTok live or Instagram live or YouTube live, right? To just watch the comments that come in at both the man and the woman. Because when you see these comments come in, sometimes you like, all right, God, dog, man, you gonna come at her like that? Oh, you coming at me like that? Damn, I still got it like that? Mm. That's why people don't want you on live. Because if you go on live, yeah, gonna be some people tell you ain't all that. But it's gonna be that one person that come in and remind you, hey, man, I think you cute. And then you start to, no, I've been trained that I'm not cute.
Oh, Lord.
But that's the difference, guys. Maybe the problem isn't the modern relationships and becoming transactional. Maybe the problem is that relationships have always involved transactions, and we tried to hide it under this thing called love. But what happens when one person is tired of hiding? We used to be afraid to admit it. Now ain't nobody afraid to admit it. Mm-hmm. What did we learn about Marcellus Wiley and his wife? The wife told him she was going to do this to him. He just didn't believe it. She told him, this ain't no surprise. She said, you do it again.
I'm sick and tired.
Look, and let me tell you what he said. We in Florida. She ain't gonna do nothing like that. She ain't gonna get me locked up in another state. She ain't gonna do nothing like that. And what do people say in our time, Rhonda? I can show you better than I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you better than I can tell you. The smartest move when you planning your exit is to drop you off in a foreign land. Now, while you locked up, I'm still living. I'm over here doing, you can't do nothing. I've put myself in the advantage, right? So what do we learn from the Marcellus Wiley relationship drama, guys? Not who's right, not who's wrong, not what happened behind closed doors. Those questions can belong where the facts can be established, which is the legal system. The lesson for us is to look at our own relationships. Do we have purpose or just emotion? Are children receiving our legacy or just more of our toxicity? Or are they carrying a responsibility that we haven't been able to show we can carry ourselves? Do we love who our partner is today or who they used to be, hoping that they're going to come back around? Are we solving problems or silently building more pressure? And finally, guys, are we still trying to run modern relationships using rules created for a world that no longer exists? That's the question. Now, if you watch this far, guys, I want one thing from you, right? Put the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the comments. Tell me which lesson hit you the hardest. And if you think I'm completely wrong, tell us that too. But then explain why, guys. Go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Share this with somebody who loves talking about relationships. And before we leave, Mabricio, give me your closing thought for tonight.
Absolutely. Isn't it crazy how we can go from forever to being locked up? Sometimes, and sometimes you just got to see the game for what it is. Don't look at it for when it was forever. Look at it for what it is right now.
Okay, Rhonda, what's your closing thought?
Women, get your lick back. I'm just joking, but for real, get your lick back. Do what you need to do. If you are someone you know, as they say on Snaps and Fatal Attraction, if you are someone you know is being abused allegedly, seek help.
Yes.
But no, don't believe the lies. But you got to first stop lying to yourself. That's my.
I'm gonna say this, guys, and I hope people don't get upset with me, but I've been saving this for my final thought. Marcellus Wiley and his wife were already locked up. The wife decided she wanted to be free. Marcellus Wiley stayed locked up. The wife is free. The wife is free. Marcellus gonna be dealing with staying locked up, because even though he's out of jail, his life will never be the same. He gonna deal with this residue for the rest of his life. They were already locked up. One got set free, and it wasn't Marcellus Wiley. Most relationships are a prison. One decides they want out, but the way they do it is they involve the legal system. And the person who cares the most has the least amount of leverage. The person who has the most to lose has the least amount of leverage. Marcellus Wiley is still locked up. His wife is free. And y'all know what it is, man. It's Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast, man. I want to appreciate you guys tuning in. I got to thank my esteemed panel. Mabricio, tell them where they can find you on the socials.
Like we said before, we're reading all the comments, so please tell us which one you agree with, you disagree with, name why. But you can come find me at Mabricio or at the AI Operators. And until next time.
Rhonda, let them know where they can find you on the socials.
RMB LMBT on Instagram and @RonDeezy_ on TikTok.
Man, y'all know where it's at for me. Get down in the description, support the channel, get the merch, and until next time, guys, we gonna holler.
Pop it, smoke it, drink it down. With your boys, it got you around. Feel the vibe, we're set to roll. Let's play, let's lose control. Sip a drink and smoke will swirl. Join the convo around the world. Relationships we dissect slow. Current events, we let them flow.